This lesson will focus on the new question, Tu aimes ton village, ta ville? Do you like your village or your town? We will begin first with a recap of how to talk about I live in, then followed by a recap of opinions, and then into some of the new vocabulary. So just to get us started, let's have a think. How would you say in French, without looking at anything else, just so you're retrieving this knowledge, how would you say, I live in Crowle? So the correct answer would be j'habite à Crowle. Now, don't worry too much if you've forgotten about the accent on the a. It does need to go on there, but it's difficult if you're on a computer typing it because you do need to put some codes in. But if we focus on it being j'habite, I live, à, in, and then the place afterwards, and you just change the name to whatever it is. Mostly you will keep the same name as it would be in English. There are a few exceptions, and you can see those on the sentence builder coming up. Okay, next one, retrieving again without looking. What were the three ways of saying in with a country? So we've got to say I live in with a country, you either use au, on, or au. And they all mean in. So on the previous one we had a, which meant in. This one we've got au, on, and au, meaning in. Au is used when the country is masculine. On is used when the country is feminine, and au with the X is used when the country is plural. And the trick, if you remember, to use most of them use the on because they ended in a letter E. So for example, France, France, it ends in E, so you would use on with it. So on France, in France. Okay, next one. I live in a house. You would say j'habite, so the same as we've seen before. Now this in is dans, because it literally means inside, because you live inside a house. So j'habite dans une maison being a house. Remember, it looked like mansion, but wasn't quite. It was a good way of remembering it. If we all wanted to say, I live in a mansion, that's probably a good way of remembering une maison for a house. Or if you know the word mason in English, masonry is all to do with houses. So that's where the link comes from there. So j'habite, I live in, j'habite, I live dans, in, and une maison, a house. So just going back to the sentence builder we used previously, to answer the question, où habites-tu? Where do you live? We had this section here where we had our phrases to introduce. So j'habite, I live, j'habitais, I used to live, je voudrais habiter, I would like to live. And we started off for one lesson looking at this top line where we explained the town or the city or the village that we live in using a plus the town or the village or the city, and then the country on the right hand side, which we've just seen in the beginning part there. So we've got the on, and if you look, all of them have the E at the end of them, and that means that they're feminine. Au went with the masculine countries, and au with an X went with the plural. So I could create a sentence saying j'habite à Rome en Italie. J'habite à Dublin en Irlande. J'habite à Crowle en Angleterre. Je voudrais habiter à Lisbonne au Portugal. So I could create my sentences like that using that top section. Now, the bottom bit allowed me to extend it a little bit further to say exactly what sort of accommodation I live in, so whether it was a house or a flat or other things like that. And then on the right hand side, a little bit further information about the kind of place that I live in. So we've got j'habite dans un appartement. J'habitais dans un bungalow. Je voudrais habiter dans une maison. You could have also said dans une maison mitoyenne for terraced, individuelle, detached, and jumelé for semi-detached. I could say j'habitais dans un appartement qui se trouve au bord de la mer. and I've extended my sentence that way. Now, this is really important for the next task, as you are going to write independently using the information provided in this sentence builder about where you live, just to get us kicked off with this topic and to get us reminded of some of the key phrases that we had here.